Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Mamlaka Broadcast Network. My name is Ambassador George, broadcasting from one of our studio here in Germany. Thank you for your time. Thank you to be with us today. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on where you are watching. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. To open your heart to us, open your ears, your eyes to watch us. We are so grateful for all that. And as we always says, you are not only participating. Welcome, welcome, Ambassador Veronique from the US. And may the Lord give you strength during the moving. May He strengthen you and may He help you have more support, help you have more people that will give you a hand so that the moving will be more easier. Hallelujah. So thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you. And it's a great privilege, Lord, to serve your people. And Father, thank you for the relationship, for the sense of great relationship that you put in our heart, to develop with your people. So, beloved, without any further delay, we are going straight into the topic of today. Today, we're going to talk about leadership and talking about leadership level two. Last time we talked about who is permission. Last time we talked about leadership position number one. Level number one was position. So, and everything that we're going to talk today about leadership, we are going to base on Joshua because Joshua has been such a great example that will help us to see how those level, the difference between those levels, And we spoke last time about position. After Moses sent the 12 out, 12 spied, they went and spied the land and came back with a report. Some report was good, encouraging, motivating, but unfortunately the other report was not good. It's kind of like damage the moral of people, of all us or all the tribes. So, but fortunately, we have at least among those 12, two people who decided to stay positive, who decided to stay strong, who decided um, to stand on their faith, to stand on their belief, and mostly to know who sent them, to know who was behind them. So, in the name of Joshua and Caleb. But in this particular subject, we're going to focus more on Joshua, because Joshua has been a kind of like a mentee to Moses. Moses was also a mentee for God from God Himself, who took the decision to mentor Moses and to make him the person that he was, after what happened in Egypt, the story that we know, all of us. But today we are talking about leadership level two because why we keep mentioning leadership? Because in reality, we are all leaders. God make us leaders. And so doing, we have to be courageous and bold to take that responsibility. And one thing is one thing to know that you're a leader, but it's one thing to practice it, and leadership is not something that just happen. There's no one who were born, with all the skills, how to manage leadership. Everything is learnable. That is the good news of all of it. So today we are talking position. We says last time we described position in this sense that a position is when you have the allowance from your boss to lead. So you are in that position, like, when Moses chose any leader of the tribes, anyone, that he meant that he feel that this person can lead this group of people, he took all of them, he make them as a leader. And we see the consequences that once a leader is chosen by a boss, sometimes if the person that has been chosen did not really know what it means to be an influencer as a leader, it's a dangerous thing. And we see that happened with Joshua also at the first hand. When it was called, leadership just doesn't happen. You have to pursue it, absolutely. So when it was called, he thought that the fact that you were called to lead um, his people, he were already a complete leader. But unfortunately, it was not the case because leadership has some qualities. There are some elements that have to come into what make you a leader. And most of them you can name it character, attitude. There are some principles that make you a real leader. So in this particular case, Joshua thought that being called as a leader, he has the authority. He can just tell the people, go left, go right, and so on. He thought that everyone will accept what he says. But unfortunately, it was not the case because here we may see the picture and say, oh, the majority, people always follow the majority opinion, like they follow the opinion of the 10. That was unfortunately negative. But in reality, it was possible to reverse, that opinion. But to do it, Joshua needed to have some certain amount of skills, how to go against that, and that's what we're going to learn today. So position is a good place to start. You first have to have a position, but when you are in that position, you have to do something else. So I did some research. It says leadership is getting people to work for you when they are not obligated. That is the essence of the second level of leadership permission. You see, what we are going to talk today is leadership permission, which is like is second level. People follow you or work for you not because they are obligated. They are not forced to do that. So they follow you because there's something between you and them. There's a connection. That's what leadership is really implement. That's how you can really implement leadership in everything that you does. And then there's one illustration here that I really like. It's a leadership will remain on the position level and never develop their influence, often led by intimidation. Of course, when someone is in the position because of his title, was focused only on his title, on what he have learned, he don't be any connection with his follower. He start use intimidation, he obligate, he force people to do what they're supposed to do. There's no harmony in what they are doing. They just do it because they are forced to do it. And so doing, we spoke last time that in this kind of position, a leader doesn't care about the opinion of the followers. He doesn't care or his follower are okay or not. He doesn't care. And in so doing, he's trying to protect himself. He start living in the stage of fear, of scaring, because he's thinking that maybe allowing those followers maybe to have some kind of leader position or bring their opinion in what he's doing, they can take his place. And that's what we see into this world, but it's wrong. So those leaders who lead with intimidation, they are like the chickens that no virgins, psychologists, though left sheriff, help study in developing the pecking order. Principle that is commonly used to describe all kinds of group. Sheriff found that in any flock, one hen usually dominates all the others. This dominant hen can peck any other without being pecked in return. The second in the order can peck all the other except the top hen, except the top hen. The rest are arranged in a descending hierarchy, finally ending with one helpless hen who can be pecked by all, but who can peck no one else. You see, that is a leadership position. You are just there to intimidate people. You just believe that you have the right, to intimidate others, to tell them what to do, to harass them, to force them to do things. It's like this hen that is pecking. And so doing, every the person who is following you, when they who could have helped you as as a kind of like how do I say it, like second in charge, he can peg you. Everyone is trying to protect himself, is pegging the other rest. So that's how a kind of a leadership without connection is happening. You are leading with intimidation. You are constantly afraid. You are constantly in fear. You are not even secure yourself as a leader. Because a good leader, a secure leader, is open to others. So now let us see the contrast. In contrast, permission is characterized by good relationships. Permission, and who give you that permission? You have to be very careful here. The motto on this level could be written as people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's the really heart of leadership. People don't care about how much you know until they know if you care about them. That's what make great really leadership. It's about people. It's about the connection. It's about really being there to those who are following you. It's a connection. True influence begins with the heart, not the head. When you want to influence people, you have to start with the heart. We saw the model every in Jesus Christ, every Moses, everywhere. You have to first touch the heart of people, and then you will have their hand, you will have their voices. When you touch the heart of people genuinely, and sometimes it's not like kind of like try to manipulate people, you know, because most of some leaders in this world today, when they see that a follower, a kind of like a little bit naive, they tend to manipulate him. They manipulate him. So that's not a true leadership. True influence begins with the heart and not the hand. Absolutely. It's very, very important. So, and he says, true influence begins with the heart, not the head. It flourished through personal connection, not rule and regulation. It flourished through personal connection, not rule and regulation. You see, a good leadership is not always about rule and regulation. Sure, there must be rule and there must be some regulation to put things order, because if not, we don't want to have a organization where people are running left and right like lost sheep. No, we don't want to have that. The rule and regulation, but those things should not stop us, to care about those that follow us. It should not stop us to care about our followers. The most important thing should be the relationship, the connection that we have with our follower than the rule and regulation. So the first thing to be will be about the heart, the concern. That is the most important thing. The agenda on this level is not picking order. You see, it's not the agenda to picking order, just to giving order and so on, picking order, putting people into a situation that they can't even express themselves. They are just there. They just follow because they are just forced to follow you. It's not really because, oh, you see, it's like you are working in a company where you know that the leadership in that company is not good. You have been maltreating, they treat you anyhow. But there's something holding you there. Maybe you need that money, to take care of your family. You need to pay some bills. You are not there because you want to be there. And I've seen that in many places where even I've been in some company working, I realize that when the leadership is good, people tend to give more. People tend to, when the leadership really care about people, when you see the CEO just come like this and greet everyone, how you doing, and ask some leader question, it motivate people. People feel concerned. People feel like they are care of. They feel important, they feel value. They tend to work more, they tend to give more. Everyone the chef is not there, everyone the boss is not there, they work, they just do things, they put it into order. I realized that. I saw it and I realized that that is true, because it has to do not is don't have not to do with the position. You have to do with the heart that the leader is communicating to his followers. It's very, very important. The agenda on this level is not picking order. It is people connection. Leadership will succeed on this level focus their time and energy on the needs and desire of individual on their team, and they connect with them. That's powerful. You know, their leadership will succeed on this level focus their time and energy, follower of those looking up to you as a leader. Amen. You know, Leaders who succeed on this level focus their time and energy on the needs and desire of the individual on their team. You see, it's amazing, because sometimes when we are in the team, you can easily more focusing on yourself. Even though the passion is there, the vision is there, the vision of the organization is there. But if you are not careful, you will look at some point, you realize that sometimes you are trying to go your own way. Sometimes you are trying to go your own way. It can really happen, and I believe that what is that happening, because I realize that because it's a lack of connection, it's a lack of caring, where time to time, even in the organization, where you can call someone and say, how are you doing today, how are you feeling, show some concern. I think that is the power thing that keep a team together. And this lesson I'm talking it to myself, because I realize I know you have to be very careful, to keep a team running, to keep a vision that you are following all together. There must be connection. There must, we must not always stick on the goal, but we have to look above everyone, because to achieve those goals, we have to move it together, and if there's no connection, if you're not uh, care showing around us as a team member, it's difficult, we might tend to try to go our own way. This is a great lesson. So our energy and time desire on individual on their team. The classic illustration of someone who didn't do this is Henry Ford. This is a powerful illustration how we're going to see how when people, they are just in a position, that they have their own agenda, they want to intimidate other people, they kind of like don't give the chance to anyone, to be himself or to be herself and to express and bring some idea. Because I've learned that in many, many companies today that succeed everywhere, if you see any company really flourishing, there must be a powerful connection between the CEO and the workers. There must be a powerful connection. Before I used to think that it has to do only with the production and so on. No, but I realized that it really has to do with the connection between people. That's what make everything bigger. That was make everything expand everything. And this is powerful illustration. When I read it, I was shocked. It said the classic illustration of someone who didn't do this, Henry Ford, in the earlier days of Ford Motor Company. He wanted his laborers to work like machine. That's what a leader of a position did. And he attempt to control their interaction outside of work with rule and regulation. You see, there are some leaders, they are so I think that is lack of self-confidence. They are so afraid of their position that they want to know everything, that maybe when they see their laborers or their workers sitting down and talking, they already think that they are talking about them. Maybe they are planning how, sorry, to take him away from the position. That is lack of self-confidence, and that's just a rule based of intimidation, just picking. So it's amazing. If you interact on out of the interaction outside of the work. He even want to know what his worker was doing out of the work. And his focus was totally on his product, the model. That's what I'm saying. Even in a team, you have to be very, very careful, because even though we have a goal, we want to attain, we have to achieve that goal, but the focus should not always be on the goal, because the goal himself cannot manifest himself. The goal has to be manifest by those, who put those goals into places. Those who hold those vision, they are the one who have to make the vision be manifest. But they can't do it by themselves. Once, being the team and be alone is two different things. The role that you can use while you are alone doing your own stuff is different when you are in the team, because when you are in the team, you move from me to we, because you see the me is selfish, but when you move to we, you see that it bringing a big picture, because you see already in your vision already, you already see many people, you already see many attendants, you already see many how will I say colleague, to do something together. And so doing, there must be a different set of role, and when you are alone and when you are in the team. And the focus was totally on his product, the model. So we have to be very careful. Our focus should not always be on the goal. Sure, we should have the goal, on our side, but one thing is the most important thing, where we should really spend our energy and time, is among us. It's among us, it's among caring about us, it's among knowing how we are doing, showing some care, which he believed was the perfect car, and the focus was totally in his model, which he believed was the perfect car and which he never wanted to change. When people start asking for it in color or other than a black, he famously responded, "You can have any color you want, and loss as long it is black." So focus on himself that he ignored the opinion of people, even the customer, those who produce him money. He was so focused on himself that he ignored their wishes. And that's what happened at the end. It was disaster. So now, when we look at Joshua using this kind of principle, how did Joshua end up, his position leadership to move into to the level two? We saw it here because the Bible told us that he spent 40 years again with a tribe in the desert. Why? Because it was not because of his fault. It was because of the doubt. It was because of the negative opinion that the other 10 others brought into the team and influenced those who were following them. So in so doing, Joshua was not part of their idea, who was not part of their negative thought. Unfortunately, had to remain there and spend 40 years with them. But the only thing that happened is that after the 40 years, all those people who were doubting, they passed away. So only Joshua and Caleb, who stand strong on their faith, were able to survive. But one thing you have to remember here is that Joshua did not just spend the 40 years just crossing his arm, and just watching. No. While he was in that situation, he was doing something. And what he was doing was he was showing some care. He was nurturing his countrymen. He was at the foot of Moses, learning what his true leadership was about. He was kind of like getting into the heart of his follower. He was giving them the time, to come to a reason. He was giving them the opportunity to see the reality. He was giving the opportunity to hold on to the truth. You see, and so doing, when Joshua was doing that, it was not only learning, but it was growing. It was growing. His leadership was growing. His perspective was changing. He come to the stage that he realized that no, leadership is not only about to give order to people. He starts somewhere. He got the position. He was named to be the leader of the tribe. That was a good place to start, but he did not stay there, and that's what a good thing that was in there. You see, in those time that he was spending there, he was growing. He was learning to listen to people. He let them speak their heart. He do everything possible. He served them. If Joshua had the opportunity to move alone and go somewhere, and move into the promised land because he believed, he knew what was in that promised land, he knew all the best thing, but he decided to stay. You see, that's what a leader is. That's the powerful sense of a leadership. He stay not because he wanted to please someone. No, he stay because he have learned something from Moses. He have learned that when you move alone, they always say this. What we say, when you move alone, you can go faster, but when you move together, you can go more further. You see, and that is the reason that he's decided to stay. And while he stayed, he started growing his maturity. He learned to know that it's not about his position. It was not about him, Joshua. It was about the people that God gave him as a responsibility. It was about them. So he spent that time listening, being with them, trying to search, trying to get into their heart by being patient, by trying like really tell them, show them really what is was good for them, bringing that purpose for them to cross from where they are to the promised land. He has to do it caring to those people. He spent all of it caring for them, caring for them, caring for the orphan, caring for the elder, and all those things, because he decided not to move. If I believe if it was some other people, they could have just said, no, why should I have to stay there? I can't just stay here with this kind of people where they don't want to move forward, but decided to stay. So that's what makes you a great leader. A great leader when your leadership is not based on yourself, when your leadership is not based on yourself, when your leadership is based on building relationship with those around you, then you become a great leader. Then the really door or leadership, really opportunity will be open to you because it's not about you. Unfortunately, our heart is always, most of the time, try to take us out of that picture, you know, to try to kind of like always take us out of the picture. We only want to go further by ourselves. We want to do things all alone by ourselves. Even when we are in the team, you can't be a person, you can't be single. You have a life of a single, and when you are married, you want to bring the same life of singleness in the marriage. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's two different world, and you need to adjust. You see, and that's what is powerful. But what is powerful here really is about the heart. you know. So, beloved, I'm just encouraging you that we should learn to move as a team. We should learn to make sure that our energy, our time is more invest in our relationship with people that we meet. Not only in the organization, everywhere you go, every at your workplace, every at school, everywhere you are, always take the time to nurture relationship with people. You see, because you never know. You never know. You may meet someone. I've met some people where they were so devastated, they were so down, but just to listen to them, it was amazing. That just what they wanted. They did not even want me to bring them solution whatsoever, just to listen to them. You see, but unfortunately, most of the time we are so busy, or what we have to do. We are so focusing on the goal, or where we are going, that we despise everything around us. Every to see the blue sky, how it look like, and describe it to someone as a beautiful poem, or to see some nice flowers along the way and just stop and admire it. It's just those kind of things. This world is trying to make us be as a machine, like Henry Ford wanted his worker to be. It's trying to transform me into a stage of zombie, who have nothing to do but just, we don't even know where we are going. But true life, true joy, true happiness is only found in the relationship that we have with people that we met. It's not only about our family. It's not only about our close friends. No, no, no. Everywhere, anytime you see a human being that is a human being, it's an opportunity for you to develop a relationship with that person. I'm saying this because I've experienced a lot of things. I'm building relation everywhere I go now, every at the work, everywhere. When I meet people, I always try to develop some set of relationship with them. Just to try to develop relationship, encourage them if I can, listen to them. Mostly is to listen. You see, because we always have that intent that everyone, when we see people, someone tell us something, we are already trying to look for solution. Or some people just want to listen, and show caring. So that's what leadership is all about. It's about connection. That's what level two was, permission. And the permission that you receive, you don't receive from the boss, you receive it from people. People permit you to lead them. When people give you the opportunity to lead them, you are in the powerful relationship. You are in the powerful position. You are in a shakable position because the people permit you to lead. And when you lead them, they follow. They will do everything. They will take the best out of them. You see, that's what is very important. So, beloved, anything that I can leave you with it today is this: learn, make the most of any situation when you meet anyone, develop relationship, talk to people, read them, joke with them, anything. That's how leadership is developed. It's about connection, it's about relationship. That's how God created the world. Because God, He created His world to be connected. It's someone you can always move when you are connected with someone. Someone knows something that you don't know. Someone else knows something that you don't know. And that's how it is. If you want to succeed, you have to go through that. And that's the powerful, that's what is power in the relationship. So Moses, Joshua show all the example. It's up to us now also to take the step and practice it in our level. You don't need to just start where you are. But from today, every time you meet a person that is a human being created by God, approach the people, do something, start some relationship, encourage them if you can encourage them, just be part of their life. So thank you very much. Follow us, like us. We are in Facebook, we are in YouTube, we are in TikTok, everywhere. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up. We make sure that you always be the first to be notified. So see you at the top where the eagles live. Bye bye.